Well, I think this is certainly in direct response to the fact that we have a new president in the White House. It's very common for North Korea to try to signal at the start of any U.S. presidency and try to put some pressure on that new presidency as the Biden administration is putting the final touches on its North Korea policy review, on its on the policy that it will use going forward when it talks about engagement or negotiation with North Korea. And they certainly want to put some pressure on Washington as well as on Seoul and Tokyo. Now, I should mention that satellite imagery is often with an eye to, we look at it as a way to see what the North Koreans are doing. It's very useful for us to see that they're still engaged in that illicit activity. But the North Koreans also are very aware that those satellites are watching. So it's a way to signal and remind the world that they continue with this activity, that they should be taken seriously, and that they should be very high as a policy on the Biden administration's foreign policy agenda.
And that's a good point, Jean. Biden has signalled very clearly that peace on the peninsula is a high priority. He's been concerned about allies South Korea and Japan. But this tough approach didn't really yield results in years past, did it?
I think that we need to give the Trump administration and the Moon administration in South Korea credit for trying to change the dynamic with Kim Jong-un by trying to engage him diplomatically. But I think I should be very clear that in 2021, we are at a far more dangerous place with North Korea's nuclear program and its ballistic missile arsenal than we were 4 years ago when President Trump took office. So yes, very dramatic summits, but no denuclearization. And North Korea has continued to test those devices continuously, even after that bromance between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump. There were more than 30 missile tests, and each of those ballistic missile tests helped to improve a specific part of the technology. And so we are now at a point where that program is far more threatening, potentially destabilizing, and it's going to make negotiations very, very difficult.
Interesting. Can we expect more of the behaviour of ballistic missiles going off and more activity in the nuclear facility in the lead up to the Tokyo Olympics? Will it be provocative in that way?
I think that's an interesting point. We did see in the lead up to the Winter Olympics in South Korea in 2017, a lot of provocation from North Korea, I think to put pressure on South Korea to engage North Korea. And we may see something like that in the lead up not only to the Tokyo Olympics, but to the Beijing Olympics as well, as North Korea tries to raise tensions in the region. They know that the global spotlight will be on Asia, and they want to be part of those discussions. So I think that's certainly a possibility. So the challenge for both the Biden administration and the other partners in the region is how to try to reduce the motivation for provocation and to try to engage the North Koreans in a way that's productive rather than destabilizing.
And to that point, Jean, what other options are there? Some argue that a complete reversal of their program is not realistic. So how could they go forward other than just portraying this very tough approach, the US?
I do think that complete denuclearization has to be the end goal, and that has to be what we are aiming for. But realistically, North Korea, Kim Jong-un, he's not going to give up his nuclear weapons. They are so important to him. So I think looking at ways within that understanding, ways to reduce the risk of instability, destabilization, the threat that the program poses would be good ways to look at how to mitigate the risk of North Korea's nuclear program.
Jean, always appreciate you joining us for your analysis. Thanks so much.
Thank you.